Hey guys. Hey guys, Brandon here with all about...
You're making me laugh.
Hey guys, Brandon here with All About DIY, coming to you with part 5 of our 400-gallon aquarium leak series. In today's video, we will be going over draining the tank, the process that I use to do so, as well as leveling the tank, the materials that I use, and the process in which I do it. So stay tuned, we'll see what's up. Alright, well, before we get started draining it and making a huge mess, let's talk about some of the materials and things that I use to drain a tank of this size with ease. So first, it's going to be a good idea to have a bunch of buckets on hand. Makes it a lot easier if you're transporting water to another area of the house or backyard or whatever you gotta do, unless you're just running it out of the tank directly to the backyard, which is ultra convenient, but in my opinion, a waste of water. So we're gonna collect a bunch of this water, or as much as we can, in these 5-gallon buckets, and water the plants with it and swap other tanks. Kind of a dual purpose setup. We're also going to be using a Rio 1400 power head, and it does 1590 liters per hour, and the conversion is 420 gallons per hour. It pumps quite a bit of water, good enough. It's faster than a siphon, so that works for me. We're going to hook a 5/8 diameter vinyl hose to that, and we're going to hook all that to a handy power strip so that I can turn it on and off with ease when I switch from bucket to bucket, so I can kind of cut down on the mess if at all possible. Okay, one helpful tip when you're putting a hose onto a connection that probably is too big for the hose, you're never going to be able to get this on when the hose is cold and hard. I mean, it's like freaking impossible. So what you do is you microwave a little bit of water, stick the end of your hose down in the water, and what that does is it softens up the vinyl and allows you to stretch it over this connection, and it actually makes for a very tight seal. So let's let this soak in here for just a little bit. Doesn't take much, you don't have to cook the hose. And the water doesn't need to be boiling or anything, it just needs to be, you know, hot to the touch. So let's see magic. Whoop. And there we go, now it's on, no problem. Once that cools down, it's going to lock onto that pump nice and firm, and it's going to be hard to get off, let me tell you. But quick little tip, hope it helps. Okay, pump's in the tank. I'm going to stick it to this back wall so it doesn't try to wiggle around and do all kinds of weird stuff while I'm trying to get water out of this thing and make a huge mess. So let's just stick it to the back here real quick. Hopefully this doesn't start siphoning, because then it's going to go on the floor. Yeah, we'll stick it about right there. That's fine. Alright, next we'll hook it up to the extension cord and the power strip, and then we'll get to draining this baby. Sweet. Stay tuned. Alright, pump's on the back wall, nice and secure so it won't come off. Extension cord comes down here to this power strip with a little nifty on-off switch I was talking about before, so that I can go from bucket to bucket to bucket very easily without making a huge mess, or, well, let's be honest, it's going to make a mess, but as little of a mess as possible. And so let's just get started. Why not? No time like the present. Alright, let's see if we can't soak the carpet. So far, so good. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I'm going to take you through this whole process and make you watch me fill up 15 buckets of water, but I'm not. Okay, well, that is 60 gallons of water out of the tank, and it only dropped the level of the water about 4 inches or so, 4.5. So you can just see how much water this thing holds. That's only one go through with all the buckets that I have, and that's it. So this is going to be a long time consuming process. I'm not going to take you through the whole thing like I said. We're just going to get all this water the heck out of here so we can start on this. Okay, so at this point, I've drained the water level down far enough to where now my pump is sucking air, so it's time for the old-fashioned way. Okay, so we finally have the tank drained after like an hour and a half of draining it. We did it the old-fashioned way at the end. It works okay. Everybody who's ever kept a fish tank knows how to siphon water out of a hose. Nothing too crazy. But at this point, now that I've got all the water out of it, we're going to remove these two Fluval FX5 filters because that's just going to be added weight when I go to actually pick the tank up, which is an astronomical feat in its own. And we're going to place these cardboard squares that I've cut out. Now, that seems kind of weird that you would put cardboard under the bottom to level a tank out. And it kind of is, I suppose, because most people on their stands, the legs are adjustable across the bottom, so you can actually just rotate the legs out and adjust the stand that way. But this one, these are fixed under the bottom, so this is what I have to resort to. And of course, these are going to smash almost completely flat with just a little bit of extra. So, you know, we're going to pile 5 or 6 of them on the low end and just work our way with one less piece of cardboard as we go this way, because we definitely don't want to tweak this stand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up one side of this big tank, if I can even do it. I remember it was a chore. And I'm going to have my wife Madison stick these under the bottom while it's up, and we're going to check the level with a 3-foot level. And I just put it across the top. It's really easy to use. When the bubble lines up between the 2 marks, you're good. When you get water in it, it fluctuates just a little bit because the pressure actually wants to sit on the low side and crush that cardboard down real low. So you actually have to get it a little bit higher on the low spot, if you have one, which I do, than the other side. So we'll just kind of run through it. I'll show you how we do it. We're just going to get this in here, go for a rough out, and just kind of show you the process. It's not fun, it's not pretty, but it works. So here we go. Okay, so like I said, it may not be the most effective way to do it, but it is a means to an end, and that end is being level. So I'll bring the camera up real close right now so you can see the level and see how close it is. And I actually want it a little bit high towards this end. This part of my floor kind of just slopes gradually down this way. So this corner of the tank ends up being low when it's all full of water because it compresses that cardboard down so slow or so fast and much, and it just kind of slopes this direction. So I want this tank on the corner to be higher than that side because the water, it just slopes this direction. So that's what we're trying to accomplish, and that's why I don't put any shims over there, and I put a majority of them varying from most to least that direction, so I don't tweak the stand, and so I get this side higher. So let's take a look at that level and see how close we got. Okay, so this is where we're at. This is an old dirty piece of crap level, but it does its purpose. So we're just ever so slightly high on this right hand side, as you can see, but that's how I want it because it's going to smash those cardboard pieces down extremely flat with 4,000 pounds of weight, or 4,500, excuse me. And so that's what I'm kind of shooting for. So I think we're looking pretty good. It's gonna mess around and kind of move a little bit and do this and that, and I can't really control that because it's just so much weight, and you really don't want to tweak this stand too much. So that's as good as we're going to get it. It's pretty gosh darn level. So we've got it left to right level now. So let's see what it is front to back. Okay, so here we are with the level front to back. We're trying to find out if the back is higher than the front or vice versa. And it would appear that it is a little bit higher in the back, which is what I don't want. Here in California, we are prone to earthquakes, and we haven't had a big one in a while, knock on wood. So I want my tank to be slightly sloped to the back, just barely. That way it goes towards the wall, I'm hoping. And that's just, I mean, it might just throw it completely on the ground and blow it out in a million pieces. But I feel more comfortable with it sloped slightly to the back. So that's going to require me to put a couple shims on the front, so we need to break out the muscles again and try to see if we can pick this up, put a couple more shims in, and then we'll see where we're at in just a second. Okay, so now that I've exhausted my power lift skills, thankfully the tank is where I wanted it. It's a little bit lower in the back than it is in the front, which means it's sloping towards the wall ever so slightly, and that's the way I like it. It gives me peace of mind. It may not do a darn thing, but if I feel better about it, I'm doing it. So, anyways, you guys know what time it is. It's level. That means it's escape time. Okay, so one more thing before I go. If you can get your pregnant wife to sit there and pile stupid cardboard shims under your stupid fish tank, you're doing pretty good. So I want to hear a shout out in the comments of all of you fish keepers out there who can get your significant other to do some crazy stuff for you when they don't want to. Shout it out. Alright, this is the end of this one. It's a little bit of stock in the back there that's going in the big tank. You can kind of see a little bit, kind of wishing around back there. But shout it out. You guys have a great weekend, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later.